Hey, loser!
Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to a new video. I'm Reece Gaming, and in this one, I'm going to be giving you my personal top 10 favourite cards from Hearthstone's brand new set and the first set of 2021, forged in the Barrens. But before we do get into that, and before we do get into all the fun stuff, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It turns out only about 20% of my viewers are actually my subscribers, so 80% of you are just freeloading, really. But you know, it's not ideal. But honestly, if you could please consider liking and subscribing, that would be brilliant. Also, top link in the description will be my Twitch. I'm going to be live all day tomorrow to go through all of the brand new Forge in the Baron stuff. Going to be cracking packs live on stream, so please do come on over, give me a follow over there, and you can join in on all the fun stuff. So anyway, with all that aside, let's get into my personal top 10 cards in Forged in the Barrens. So I think a good place to start, just like always, would be with a few honourable mentions. And we're going to be starting off those honourable mentions with Firemancer Flurgle. So a 2-mana 2/3 Murloc for Shaman with the effect, after you play a Murloc, deal 1 damage to all enemies. So I don't want to talk too much because it's only an honourable mention and not one of my top 10. But honestly, a fantastic card in any aggressive Murloc strategies. There's actually loads more Murlocs in the new set we're going to talk about in a moment. But where the power of this card really does come from is Toxfin. So Toxfin, a Murloc that we've been very familiar with in the past. It's a Murloc that gives poisonous to another Murloc. Basically, if you Toxfin this guy, he's actually going to do 1 damage to all enemy minions and then destroy them because of the poison. So yeah, obviously a very powerful interaction. Hopefully it stays that way, because I think it would be a really cool interaction, a really nice board clear for any slower Shaman list. You can use Ice Fishing as well to sort of like pull those from your deck. So yeah, a really cool card. It'll be nice to see, obviously with that Toxfin interaction aside, it'll be really nice to see how maybe like aggro Shaman or like whatever Shaman, Murloc Shaman, whether that can really be a thing with this card. So yeah, I think it's a really nice card, and I'm very excited to see this play. Okay, and then we also have 2 new Murlocs that I want to very quickly talk about, because like I said about those aggressive Murloc strategies, we actually have 2 very, very good ones. So we've got 2, they're both called Lushwater, followed by a word. So we've got Lushwater Mercenary and Lushwater Scout. Let's start with the Mercenary first. It's a 2-mana 3/2. If you control a Murloc, it gains +1/+1. So it's a little similar to Rockpool Hunter, that was a 2-mana 2/3, gives something else +1/+1. This just gives it to himself. So a very, very, very strong Murloc on curve. I can definitely see it seeing play if these aggressive Murloc decks see play, and maybe like Murloc Paladin, for example. We also have like Lushwater Scout, sort of a magic carpet. Is it called Magic Carpet? Yeah, a very Magic Carpet effect on a Murloc, which is really exciting. So it says after you summon a Murloc, give it +1 attack and rush. So yeah, any aggressive aggro decks are definitely going to be all over this. There's not really been any sort of rush effects for Murlocs apart from the little, I think it's called like the Spectral Murloc or something, that charges in and then like rushes in, and then you get 1 back in your hand. So apart from that, and like Bluegill, for example, there's not many rushing or charging Murlocs. So yeah, Lushwater Scout, great Murlocs, a great like tool for Murlocs, in controlling the board and stuff. So I'm going to be really excited to see that one see play. But yeah, I thought I'd mention those 2 in a one-er. Going to be really good, I can honestly see them being really big staples for Murlocs going forward. So yeah, they're the Lushwater Murlocs. Okay, and then we also have Horde Operative, another honourable mention here. A 3-mana 3/4 Battle Cry. Copy your opponent's secrets and put them into play. I kind of put this in my honourable mentions due to the sort of heavy meta game that we're in now, and like the heavy secret mage meta that we're in now. And yeah, this is going to be really good against those sort of decks. It doesn't actually destroy them like Eat Your Secrets, for example, but you are going to be straight up copying them and put them into play yourself. So what you can do with the copy is obviously take a look at what you've copied and play around those effectively as well, which is obviously really nice. And obviously it being a bit of a, yeah, not the best thing to play against for those Secret Mages as well, because Secret Mages are going to hate playing against their own secrets. So, Explosive Runes, Counterspell, these cards are really effective against Secret Mage anyway, so it's going to be really nice copying those. But, yeah, I think it's going to be really good in any deck that's odd cost. It's very aggressively statted. Let's say like Odd Rogue, for example, or Odd Paladin. It's going to love just taking all those secrets and put them into themselves. So, yeah, in a very heavy secret meta, especially like Secret Mage, there's a few Secret Paladin cards that might be quite good in Wild. So if any of those go overly aggressive again, you're going to definitely see some Horde Operatives see in play. So, and our last honourable mention is Refreshing Spring Water, a 4-mana spell for Mage with draw 2 cards, refresh 2 mana crystals for each spell drawn. So I actually think this card's really powerful, but it needs to be put in the correct deck. So anything like Quest Mage, you know, like Mazaki Mage or Flamewaker Mage, or however you want to call those decks, this card's going to be really good in those. So, you know, it's 4 mana draw 2, so it's already worse than Arcane Intellect. But if you are guaranteed that you're going to draw those spells, or, you know, or a very high chance you're going to hit those spells off the draw, this card is obviously going to be very, very effective in those decks. So anything that's heavy minion base, it's not the card for the deck. But anything like, you know, Flamewaker, Sorcerer's Apprentice, those sort of decks with like 20 plus spells, this card could be really, really good. So keep an eye on Refreshing Spring Water for sure. Okay, and now we are into our top 10 here, and we're going to start with 2 cards, and that kind of defeats the purpose of a top 10, but Blizzard are trying to push certain archetypes, so I've kind of banged those together just, you know, for one review, and I think that's going to be a nice way of doing this. So we are going to be starting with 2 here. Let's start with the Sword of the Fallen first. It's a 2-mana 1/3 weapon for Paladin, and it says after your hero attacks, you cast a secret from your deck. So we've seen secrets be really, really effective in Wild, especially in Paladin. We've got things like Avenge, we've got Oh My Yogg, which is really powerful, we've got Never Surrender, we've got Noble Sacrifice, we've got the big +1/+1, forgot what that card's called. There's loads of good secrets happening in Wild, so having Sword of the Fallen, being able to swing in, get one of those straight from your deck, I think it's going to be really nice, which is, it's very similar to Mad Scientist, and obviously Mad Scientist is still one of the most played and one of the most oppressive cards probably in the whole format. So yeah, I think Sword of the Fallen kind of being kind of having that effect is, yeah, it's really, really powerful. Why I can see to see in play is cards like Call to Arms has just been reverted. So with Call to Arms, you can pull all your 2-drops. Sword of the Fallen's going to be pulling all your secrets. That is like deck efficiency at its finest. So yeah, could see Secret Paladin or minion, like aggro, minion-based paladins that are running secrets, definitely run this for sure. So yeah, let's move on to the 3-mana 3/4. It's North Watch Commander, Battlecry. If you control a secret, draw a minion. So I'm seeing Curvestone in front of my eyes here. We've got Sword of the Fallen, attack, get a secret, North Watch. If the secret's been popped, you can just swing in again, get another secret. North Watch is going to, you know, it's going to have that effect active. You draw a minion, and then you're into your turn 4, which is probably Call to Arms, turn 5, whatever, Mysterious Challenger on 6. Like, yeah, this is looking really, really promising. So, Northwatch Commander, for me, good card, 3-mana 3/4, very good stats. Sword of the Fallen, fantastic. I do think Single Paladin could be a thing in the new set. So that's why I hold this thing, the Secret Paladin thing, holds my holds my 10th slot in my top 10. And let's move on to number 9 with Kazagus. This is Kazagus 2.0, or Kazagus Golem Shaper, a 4-mana 3/3 neutral legendary. If your deck has no 4-cost cards, build a custom golem. So I'm going to talk about the sort of limitations here. Obviously, we've seen Kazagus in the past with if your deck has no duplicates, make a custom spell. That card was very good, still a staple in any sort of Reno deck that's in Priest, Mage, or Warlock. This time we get the sort of limitation of no 4 costs. Other Kazagus is 4 costs, so this Kazagus Dream for me is, I'm not seeing it. But yeah, Kazagus, the sort of battle cry is super effective. So we're going to get, when you play it, you get 3 options of 1 cost, 5 cost, or 10 cost golem, and then you get 2 effects. The first effect might be something like deal something damage, give all your stuff plus 4 health, you know, all these things, draw a card, gain armor, free something, and then you get the second effect, which might be like 5 to all enemy minions, or give your minions +2/+2, like, yeah, so you get this sort of custom thing, a little bit like the custom spell. I do think Kazagus Golem Shaper is really, really, really powerful, but I can only really see it seen play in arena style deck. But then, like I said, the most oppressive Reno decks are Mage, Priest, Warlock, and you're going to be running the other Kazagus. So I'm struggling, honestly, to see where this guy sees play, but I seriously wanted to put him in my top 10 because I do think his effect is so powerful, and we'll just have to see whether he does show up. So yeah, Kazagus Golem Shaper holds my number 9 slot. Okay, we're going to move on to number 8, and I actually have 2 here again. This time we've got Silverleaf Poison and Paralytic Poison. So let's start with Silverleaf first. So 2-mana spell, Silverleaf Poison, give your weapon after your hero attacks, draw a card. Personally, love that effect. I automatically, and I can't help it, think of Kingsbane. And Why I kind of like this is I do think this card is good enough to see in Kingsbane Rogue. I can see it being a one-of. Obviously, there's other really, really powerful weapon buffs. The deck's very fast anyway, so it might not see playing that deck. But what I do like is this kind of gives Kingsbane a direction as like a slower option. So maybe you can start seeing Cold Light Oracles come back. Maybe we can start seeing some of the more burgle effects, like make a return into those decks. So I actually do really, really like Silverleaf Poison. Yeah, like I said, I quite like Mill Rogue. I know nobody likes playing against it, but I quite enjoy playing it. So I can see like Silverleaf Poison being quite good, especially if you go like the Kingsbane route, buff your weapon, and you can also like Blade Flurry and stuff, which has been reverted. So there's a lot of that going on, and I kind of like it alongside the new weapon buff, which is on the side here as well, Paralytic Poison. So you give your weapon +1 attack, which is obviously really nice, and you give your hero immune while attacking. So like I said, your Kingsbane's going to get big. Whenever you're swinging, you're drawing a card, and whenever you're swinging, your hero gets immunity. So we can take off these big trades. You know, let's say your opponent drops a big 8/8 again, like you're playing Dark Glare, they drop an 8/8. Your weapon's big enough, let's just smack it. You're immune. You get a card. Maybe you've got like Leeching Poison on there as well. Like you gain some life for that turn. Like I quite like how that's kind of looking. So yeah, these cards together. What I do like I said, is these cards steer Rogue away from like this aggressive build into maybe more of a slower build. So I quite like that. I'm looking forward to playing these two. Yeah, tomorrow night. Oh my god. Okay, and coming up in number 7, we do have Mortian Elite, a 5-mana 4/4 taunt with Battlecry. If your hero attacked this turn, summon a copy of this. Now, I'll be honest with you, I can seriously see an aggressive taunt warrior, a very mid-rangey warrior, being very powerful coming up in the new set. So we have cards like this on the right. We have Bulk Up, give a random taunt minion in your hand, +1/+1, and copy it. We've got cards like Into the Fray, Stolen Goods, Feat of Strength, I think it's called. Like all of these cards are super powerful at buffing taunt minions in your hand. We have Saronite Chain Gang as well that has just been reverted. So we've got these really consistent taunts that copy themselves once they're put into play. So I can seriously see Mortian Elite and that whole taunt package being very powerful coming up in the new set. Don't forget, we've also got really powerful cards on curve as well. Weapons, for example. So we've got like Dev Spy, we've got the Pirate that makes a weapon as well. I'll put that on screen. Loads of that going on, so I can really see Mortian Elite, that taunt package, being really, really powerful in a tempo-based warrior, and that's why it's in my number 7 slot. Okay, in number 6, we've got this banger of a card. I'm excited about playing this one. I'm sure you guys are as well. It's a 10-mana 10/10 Mage Legendary Mordresh Fire Eye. So Battlecry, if you've dealt 10 damage with your hero power this game, deal 10 damage to all enemies. So let's just recap that. If you pinged like 10 damage worth in your game, you're going to deal 10 damage to all enemy minions and 10 damage to the enemy face. So you're dealing Pyroblast to everything. This card is nuts. Going to be really, really powerful. There's cards that have been put into this set as well that are going to help that. We've got like Wildfire. This is a brand new fire spell for Mage that increases your hero power by 1. We've also got Reckless Apprentice as well, which is been really powerful in all of the sort of pre-release stuff that I've watched, but it's a 4-mana 3/5 that fires a hero power all enemies. So even if your hero power does 1 damage, you do 1 to all. It's a 4-mana 3/5 body. It's really powerful. But when you combo that with like Wildfire or Fallen Hero that makes your hero power do more damage, it's the effect gets really, really, really strong. Yeah, so I can see Mordresh being really powerful in a hero power mage. What do I think of when I think of Hero Power Mage? I think of Even Mage, sorry. Your Hero Power costs 1, you're dealing 1. With stuff like Wildfire now being able to put in that deck, and Fallen Hero. Yeah, this card, obviously that whole thing gets really powerful. We've got Kaldara Drake as well that's been buffed for the core set, so you might be able to ping things multiple times and that thing sticks around. So yeah, Mordresh is going to be really good in that deck. It's going to be a great finisher, and I'm going to be excited to see sort of how the whole Even Mage thing does. But with Even Mage aside, is Mordresh good enough alone to be put in other decks? I'm struggling honestly to say yes to that. Maybe you can find it in an LPG Mage if you're running like Lich, is it Lich Queen? I don't know what her name is, but Jaina, for example, when you start pinging things and getting that life steal back off your elementals that you're creating, maybe Mordresh could find a place in that as a late game finisher. But apart from that, struggling to sort of see where this guy comes in. But I think Even Mage, honestly, with all this new stuff, we could be looking at a new archetype, honestly. So yeah, that's why Mordresh for me and all the new stuff holds number 6 in my top 10. Number 5, I personally love this card, but I do believe it is in the wrong class, but that's okay. With all that aside, number 5, we've got Death Speaker Blackthorn, a 7 mana 3/6 with Battle Cry. Summon 3 Death Rattle minions from your deck that cost 5 or less. So they've kind of missed recruit on this. It's recruit 3 minions, 3 Death Rattle minions that cost 5 or less. I don't know why they don't just keep words coming in. Maybe it makes it more complicated, but I don't know. But Dev Speaker, very, very, very powerful effect. It's if you built your deck in a very, if you built your deck correctly, or maybe aggressively, you can be pulling 15 mana worth of stats from your deck for 7 mana. Now, do I think Blackthorn has an immediate place in Wild? Personally, no. I don't think the Death Rattle minions on 5 are very impactful. We have Sludge Belcher, we have Rotten Apple Bomb, but other than that, I'm really struggling to see a 5 mana Death Rattle that's worth running. But this card, going forward, just having it in the Demon Hunter class, knowing that whenever a nice 5-drop Death Rattle gets printed, this card could see play, I think is what it's all about. So this is one of those staple cards. Well, actually, it's going to could be a staple card for Demon Hunter going forward, just not yet. But I seriously think this is a very, very powerful effect that will see play at some point, and that's why for me it got on my list. But I just don't think it will see play yet. But this card, at some point in the future, is going to be nuts, so keep an eye on that one for sure. And in number 4, we've got a Paladin epic spell called Conviction. So it's a 1 mana rank spell. If you're unfamiliar with how rank spells work, what's going to happen is at rank 1, they're going to do an effect when you hit 5 mana. So once you hit that 5 mana mark, you're going to hit rank 2, that's going to have a stronger effect. And when you get to that 10 mana, so maximum mana, you're going to hit rank 3, where it's going to have an even more powerful effect. So for Conviction, when it's -5 mana, it's going to do it's going to be 1 mana to cast, and it's going to give a random friendly minion +3 attack. So it's
Blessing of Might
on a random minion, so kind of bad. But once you hit that 5 mana mark in your game, the Conviction rank 2 is going to give 2 random friendly minions +3 attack. If you ever get to the 10 mana point in your game, this is going to hit rank 3, and it's going to give 3 random friendly minions +3 attack. Personally, if you're ever at rank 2 or rank 3, this card is nuts. It's odd cost. It's going to fit perfectly into any odd Paladin lists. Maybe Secret Paladin, if that is a thing going forward, because that's going to be aggressive. This will definitely see play. It's also Holy. There's another card in the set that I might whack up on screen now that actually Battle Cry pulls a Holy spell from your deck, so that might be good enough to see play, and it's odd cost. So yeah, this is going to be really, really powerful. It's almost like a Savage Roar or like Bloodlust effect. If you've only got if let's say you're on 10 mana, you've got 3 minions on board, it's basically Bloodlust for 1. So yeah, it's kind of nuts when you think of it like that. So I do think Conviction is going to be very, very powerful when any aggro Paladin. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. And it's like, this always happens on a new set. There's always like a really strong Paladin, like odd cost card, and I kind of like poop myself because I hate playing on odd Paladin. I think it's kind of like degenerate, but yeah, this card's gonna be really good, and it might even be good enough for my Murloc Paladin list. So I'm happy with it. And now we're into my top 3. We're gonna start with Barrock Kodobane, a 5 mana 3/5 Hunter legendary with Battle Cry. Draw a 1, 2, and 3 cost spell. So I'll straight up say I think this is ideal for the Death Rattle Hunter deck that's kind of been fringe for the last few weeks or months. So Death Rattle Hunter with Tonk has actually been like really powerful, but it's just not keeping up with some of the other stupid stuff going on in the format. So what Barrock Kodobane does in that deck is it's actually going to be able to pull those 3 specific spells that you need in your deck. So Play Dead, Feign Death, and 9 Lives are suddenly just, you can kind of grab them at any point, which is, it's kind of like nuts when you think about it, especially like with 9 lives. You'll be able to start off with 9 lives. Let's say pick Tonk, you get Tonk back in your hand. You can play Dead It. Like there's so much you can do. Like, and I think Barrock Kodobane, yeah, in that specific deck is gonna be really powerful. So I love Barrock Kodobane. Gonna be really, really good, and I can't wait to play it tomorrow. So okay, and in number 2 we have a 4 mana 5/4 Shaman legendary called Brukan. I do believe that might be a bit of a typo. I think his name is actually Brokan because he's broken. But yeah, he gives nature spell damage +3. So in case you don't know, every spell or most spells in the game now fit under a spell type. There's like fire spells, frost spells, arcane spells. And in this case, we have nature spells. So he's actually going to give all your nature spells +3 spell damage. So in case you don't know, Lightning Bolt, for example, Crackle, Maelstrom Portal, all of these cards are already very powerful in Wild, and now Bruchan's going to be able to actually give all of those +3 spell damage for a very cheap mana cost. So now your Lightning Bolts now ping for 6 damage, that's a 1 mana fireball. Your Crackles now hit anywhere between 6 and 9, so you could have a 2 mana deal 9 damage if your RNG is up there. You get a Maelstrom Portal, now do, you know, 2, like instead of 1 damage to all, it's now doing 4 damage to all. Like, it's very, very powerful, and I do believe Bruchan is actually going to be able to push those sort of aggro shaman lists in a more minion based into more spell based with Spirit of the Frog and stuff. Yeah, and actually be able to do way more burn finish damage. So yeah, really excited about him. It's probably my favorite legendary in the whole set, I'm not gonna lie, and because I love burn stuff, so I'm really excited to give him a go. But yeah, Bruchan makes my number 2 in my top 10. So in first place, we've got Celestial Alignment. It's a 7 mana druid epic arcane spell, so many words, and it sets each player's mana crystals to 0, and then you set the cost of all cards in your hand and deck to 1. This card is nuts. It's almost like a mini reset for a turn, so you can like reset both your mana to 0, and then you kind of just like, you can pass, let them do one thing, and then you can pass back. It comes back to you, and you can basically blow your opponent up. So let's talk about that, because that sounds fun. So you play this, you pass turn, you let your opponent do one thing, because that's all that they've got the mana for, and I honestly can't see a world where they do one thing that blows you up. So yeah, you just let them do that, you know, like, okay, cool. It comes back to you, and you drop Coon, and Coon gives you 10 mana, so you play him, get your 10 mana back, and everything still costs 1, so that's really good. You can then drop Malagos, you can drop Gloop Sprayer, which is going to copy Malagos. You can play this new epic elemental that I'll put on screen, and that's going to draw your highest cost card. You're going to draw Ultimate Infestation, and then you're going to point upwards, and you're going to be able to drop a 50 mana Ultimate Infestation into the face, and then everything you draw should be burned, that you can just point upwards and kill your opponents. And to me, that sounds fun. I love Malagos Druid, and I actually think this is now the best way to do it. It's consistent, especially with Psych Melon. So yeah, I love Celestial Alignment, and I'm definitely going to be giving that one a go coming up tomorrow, so that's exciting. Guys, that's it. That is a wrap. That is the end of my top 10 video. I hope you've had a good time watching this, just like I've had a good time making it. Let me know what you think as well. Do you agree with this top 10? What cards are you excited about? Please do let me know in the comments. Don't forget, while you're down there, to check that top link in the description as well. That is my Twitch. I'm going to be live all day tomorrow on Twitch. Yeah, playing with the new stuff, having a good time, and don't forget, I'll be cracking those packs as well. So please do come on over and drop a follow if that is okay. Guys, like I said, thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.